probably heard the old saying, if you want something done right, well, do it yourself. And Senator Adelstein, when it comes to the office of governor of the state of South Dakota, some of us would think that the only way to get it done right is if we do it. We're less than excited about some of the things this administration has done. There's been speculation that you might run for governor.
That was an interesting article, and I might. The big difference between you and me is that you wanted to be governor, and you ran a great campaign. I don't want to be governor. However, I don't want to be governor less than I don't want the incumbent governor to remain in office.
I'd
So
say on a
that leads me into, I'll be 83 years old. My grandchildren are growing. I have a wonderful life, but I love this state. And I want this state to progress where everybody is respected, that we return to our management of the governor's office. Right now, the legislature has no say. All of the decisions are made by, quotes, an executive committee, and the executive committee that no one elected and is not approved by the Senate is who the cabinet secretaries must report to, the cabinet secretaries having been approved by the legislature. We have continual examples of this administration whose job is to manage the decisions of the legislature intervening in all kinds of bills.
So you're suggesting that maybe this is more of a kingdom than an administration.
Yeah, it's a kingdom, but that's the reason why I never thought of it as a kingdom. It certainly is a one way to do things. Although there are hundreds of supposed study committees, much more than when you were in the Senate. But these study committees are sort of like eating Jell-O for lunch and think that you've had a substantial meal.
Yeah, not much substance there. You know, someone said once, Senator, if you want to kill something, send it to committee.
That might be the case.
But I'm interested in your take because I didn't serve in the Senate or the House during this current administration. So
I'm sorry you weren't there.
Well, it would have been interesting, but you did. You have. You
Yes.
are. And it sounds to me like you're saying that this is something of a dictatorial administration. It's my way or the highway.
And no compromise. For example, that Education Bill 1234 that the people rejected, the legislature worked out an alternative to almost all the issues, and it could have been worthwhile. We passed some of those good parts that the legislature planned this session, but the governor wouldn't move on it. When you talk about dictators, my dear friend Bill Janklow was considered a dictator, but he listened, and he could say, gee, I'm wrong, or
well, it's fair to say he got some things done.
And he never did anything to get reelected. I mean, people say, "Oh, this is going to interfere in a campaign." He said, "If I'm right, then the people have the right to move me out." Bill Janklow didn't have a press system like this. I get a press release as a senator at least once a day from the governor's office. I never got that from Bill Janklow. I might have seen what he issued to the general press. In addition to that, he has another reporter. He wants to be governor again so badly that we're inundated with lovable suggestions and little substance.
When would you suggest that you might make a decision if there's no other challenger to this sitting governor? When do you think you might make that decision, that personal sacrifice?
When there is no credible challenger. And once again, I would be a one-term, if that long, with a good, strong, young lieutenant governor full-time. But, it's funny, the more people talk to me about it, and a lot of people do, but it's a daunting task. And I've done daunting tasks, but my life is at a point where I don't have to anymore.
Well, it might be interesting, to say the least. South Dakota needs a governor with purpose and dedication, and I don't know of anyone who's more dedicated in terms of patriotism than my friend Senator Stan Adelstein. So stay tuned. You might be hearing more about this upcoming governor's race.